In this daily drop, I'm going to be addressing some of the comments and reactions to my last video where I talked about problems I had with the Hollyland Lark M2S wireless microphone system. So let's go. All right, here we are, brand new week, and I just want to preface this episode by saying that the week of April 14th is going to be a little bit different for me. I have a 3-day production, Monday through Wednesday. Some of that will wind up becoming content for the channel. I'll definitely get at least 1, maybe 2 daily drops out of that. But I'm going to be doing back-to-back-to-back, maybe 2 back episodes, because it's going to take me all the way through end of day Wednesday. That's kind of the deal. All right, so this first episode of the week is just hot on the tails. Is that the saying? Heels? Hot on the heels. Yes. Why would it be on the tails? It's Saturday here in the barn, and I've got a lot of things going on, prepping for this production, so on and so forth. So Hollyland Lark M2S. I did an episode a while ago where I did a whole bunch of tests with this system, and I turned things off, turned things on, and you can watch that episode if you'd like. It's in the description. And then I took a variation of this in terms of the kit to NAB with me, meaning a variation of the one that I had used before. It was another kit that I had sent out from B&H so that I could use it during NAB. And the last video that I shot probably should have used a mic that wasn't coming from my iPhone for all of the other episodes. But the last episode I shot was with this, and it was in a completely controlled environment. So I've got a lot of comments about why people think there were issues with the Lark M2S when I used it in that situation. Batteries, interference, definitely could be something. And just whether or not everything was seated in terms of the connections. And here's the deal. I am not perfect at audio, but I have been doing production for a long time, and I'm pretty well versed on these wireless 2.4 gigahertz systems. Again, Saturday, lots going on. And I'm also very used to using UHF and frequency-based systems that are more traditional. Sennheiser, Sony. I've had the UWP system for a long time. So I'm in and around and using audio a lot. I'm no Curtis Judd, but I have a pretty decent idea of what I'm doing, especially with a system like this. And if you did watch that episode, I talked about the fact that I did test records. This was plugged into my Canon C80, into the mic terminal, and I tested the picture and sound, brought it in, everything sounded clean, started to record my daily drop. Yes, everything was seated. Yes, batteries were fully charged. Yes, the connection seemed strong, and I was in a hotel room. And somewhere along the line, along the way of the episode, things started to degrade in terms of the quality of the audio. So it might be something else, but the Hollyland Lark 2S was the one thing that was really different. In fact, today I'm in a totally different audio setup because my boomed mic, my Rode NTG5, my MixPre 6.2 are actually at the production location for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday's shoot. So I'm not using that. I'm in fact using the Wireless Pro. So I've got the Wireless Pro transmitter. I'm using a third-party headset mic right now, just so that if I'm moving my head around, the levels are consistent. That is the downside to a lapel or a lavalier mic. If you look down, you look up, you look left, you look right, you can have some changes in terms of the audio. It's an omnidirectional mic, but you can still have issues. So instead of addressing everybody's comments individually for that episode, and I might reply to a couple, I'm just letting you know that it was fully charged, the connections were secure, I had done a test record, And I really hate doing episodes like that. I mean, it's not what this channel is about. And I felt compelled to do it because I had already created an episode about the product. If I hadn't done that, meaning if I hadn't created a previous episode about the product, I probably never would have done the episode that I did where I had the problem, because that's just generally what I'll do. If I don't like a product, I don't create content around it because it gets into this noisy dialogue. Not noisy as in people are making comments that are wrong, but it's just not really what the channel's about. And now I'm making this episode as a follow-up. You can see where this is going. So I'm going back to the way I did things before, which is if I get a product in, I don't like the way the product is performing, I'm not going to create content around it. But rest assured that when it comes to this particular product, that I did what I think are the correct steps to make sure I was getting the best possible audio I could. If the problem I had encountered happened on the trade show floor at NAB or anywhere where there was obvious potential for interference, then I also probably would not have created that episode. As it were, I was in a hotel room about 2.5 to 3 meters away from the camera in seemingly a controlled environment. Nothing that I could tell that would be interference. I wasn't near the convention center. My hotel was about 1.5 miles away. Yes, there's a lot of things going on in Las Vegas, but I was in a hotel room. And so I would not expect in that situation for there to be a problem. Somebody made a comment that, you know, at $159, $149, $139, you know, what can you expect? I think in a controlled environment, even though it's a 2.4 gigahertz wireless transmitter and receiver system, you should expect it to perform admirably in those conditions. Could something have been wrong on my end? Absolutely. But because I did tests and made sure that things were fine, I felt pretty confident about creating that episode where I didn't really want to recommend that product to other people going forward. None of these systems in this price point are perfect. They're not going to give you the same quality of audio that you would get out of, well, you know, a more traditional wireless transmitter and receiver. And of course, if you have the choice, wired all the way. That's always the best way to go. That's what I got for you. Don't forget to, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Daily Drop.